Great. Good afternoon. Una welcome to Talk to Me, an Ignite lecture series hosted by Girls Empowerment Sierra Leone, GESL. We're glad for seeing una all. We are happy to see everybody. My name is Moyatu Banyakista. I am the Executive Director of Girls Empowerment Sierra Leone, and I will be co-hosting this meeting with my co-host, Josephine M. Thula, who is an ambassador of Girls Empowerment Sierra Leone. Before we start, we just want to have a minute of silence for silent prayers. So let's just take a minute of silence for silent prayers. Amen. So again, una welcome. My name is Moyatu Banyakista. I represent Girls Empowerment Sierra Leone. Today, not about me and not about me co-host. Today, I really bought the amazing young lady that we join with from across with different partner organizations. Today, I also but una we don't join we on this conversation here because we believe it's a very important conversation. This particular event focus on what thing they go on right now concerning the COVID-19 period and how it affects girl picking them. We've been one for bring girl picking together through we Ignite event. For Yeri, waiting and self get for say, but waiting they go on. How then see things then they happen during the COVID period, which kind of program then they help them right now during the COVID period, and waiting they're not glad about. And most importantly, waiting they want to see for the future, where we enter inside waiting but cool people then they call post-COVID-19. I'm going to also be interpreting in English because we know we have audience also from outside Sierra Leone. Welcome. The focus of this event is through our Ignite series, which gathers activists together and creates a platform for us to speak about issues that are relating to girls and women's rights in Sierra Leone. This particular conversation is focused on ensuring that girls have a space to talk about what is happening concerning COVID-19 in Sierra Leone, how they see the situation in Sierra Leone, and how they see the situation in the post-COVID era. What are they happy about that is working well? What interventions have they seen? What have they been doing in their communities? And what do they hope to see in the future as it relates to COVID-19 interventions? Alongside with me is my colleague, Josephine Thula. I'm going to hand it over to her so that she can also make an introduction. Josephine. There you are.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Josephine Mpola. I'm going to talk a little bit about GESL. To start with, GESL came to existence in 2012, which I was fortunate to be one of the 9 girls that started GESL programs in Sierra Leone. And from when the organization started to now, it has impacted and changed lives of many girls in Sierra Leone. I am proud to say I am now studying journalism, and I'm also a radio personality, and of course, an ambassador for Girls Empowerment. I welcome you all to this platform, and I hope we learn from each other. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Josephine. Now we're going to just briefly mention our girl panelist ambassadors who are joining us from our partner organizations. Now we can introduce the main young girls, then we get for talk about what they go on today. First, we have Mabinti Mambu, who is joining us from Potloko as part of Educade, our partner organization. We also have Princess Keru, who is joining us from Wigial Pikinem Foundation from Kenema. We also have Jane McFoy, who is joining us from Girls Empowerment Sierra Leone from Freetown, representing Freetown. We have Jenna Young, who's also joining us from Girls Empowerment Sierra Leone, joining us from Bo. And we have Jaria Tusila, who is joining us from Girl Child Network, Makeni. Welcome, ladies. We look forward to all of your contributions today. It has been an amazing journey getting to know some of you within a long period of time and some quite relatively recently. But we are so excited to see all of the amazing things that you have been doing, and we look forward to hearing today. Before we jump into the program, we wanted to take this opportunity to share one of the interventions that GESL has been working on during this COVID period. We partnered with our partner organization, A Girl at a Time, for launch a program called the She Virtual Learning Series. She stands for Staying Safe, Healthy, and Empowered. So today we will show one of the interventions them where GESL done they work on during this COVID-19 period, what they call the She Learning Series. The She Series now virtual learning series where we show the girl picking in our organization along with we partner organization A Girl at a Time for ensure say girl picking and remain safe, healthy, and empowered during this time, particularly during this COVID-19 time. So the first video they show today, they focus on mental health, what they call well body now you mind, particularly during this term. But who have the girl picking and within our organization, but they say when they're not host, they know they feel okay for them that host them bored, they're not glad at all. So we want to do things then for them for make sure say when they're not host, then they study, but then also they do different activities then for keep their mind active. So this particular video speaks to that day. So they can play that video, quick one, then we go into the rest of the program. Thank you very much.
She, staying safe, healthy and empowered. Me self get safe part 1. A focus on girls' rights.
Kadiatu, you don't hear anything happen to Fudia?
No, I no hear you. What's happen?
Fudia was married to 140-year-old man. He no go school safe after the COVID-19 lockdown.
In no say we get law where they protect we girl picking them under the Sexual Offences Act. It wrong for let older person charge small girl picking.
Yes, he wrong, but Fudia safe, their rights over in body. If we feel safe as small picking, we girl picking them, we matter our community.
Rape, it wrong. The government self say it wrong. Now that's make the government get family support.
Apologies, I believe that was not the appropriate video. Just give us a second. The love of being online live. Not this one. Not this one either. Not sure.
She, staying safe, healthy and empowered. Mental health of girl picking them during COVID-19.
Hey, who's telling zeros gets for both? Me I tell for Selena old. Wait step for app with me school open one. How are they going for take me exam? I don't miss me party then say, how are they sitting on our house? I told you go say, Boku pa me. My parents say look stressed. All the time they all up at me. I dey afraid safe, make my grandparents say no die. All that lockdown they get about so hey.
Parents them, una know wetin una gal pikin dey think and dey worry about this COVID-19 term here so. We need for pay more attention to the gal pikin them. You don't notice anything different about you pikin? How e dey sleep? If your mood don't change? If you notice say you pikin sad, the ambog how e not be the ambog, no dey eat better, no dey sleep better, no get better appetite. Na for observe am o, because na sign wey dey show say in well body na in mind no okay. Make I tell una, ways the one able for support una pikin during them term they are so. Now for talk to them, make them able for trust and get confidence in you. Now for encourage them for the school business one. And now for also play games with them. When una then us, una for go they make fun and make sure say you give them the right information and be positive and supportive to them, yeah? Be well body now in mind is very important for adults and also for we picking them. We for make sure say we stay safe, healthy and empowered, and also we for focus on we gal picking them mental health and term they are so, because it go good for we now with society. This message come from Girls Empowerment Salon and A Girl at a Time, sponsored by WCA Creatives.
Thank you all. So this was one of the videos that we are working on to ensure that girls remain safe, healthy, and empowered. And we have actually been working with some of our girls to bring some of this to life. We're now going to enter into the program. One thing I wanted to say before we start, just some brief ground rules. Of course, we want to ensure that the participants can hear everything that our amazing panelists have to share. So we ask all man for stay muted throughout the duration unless you are a panelist. There will be a segment, because we understand the importance of conversation. There will be a segment where we will pose questions towards the end, and you can enter questions in the chat box, and my colleague will help to facilitate some of those questions, my colleague Marion. So we're going to get started and just call out some brief ground rules. Josephine, if you want to start.
Okay, so welcome again once more. We also say before a program starts, we get rules and regulation upon discussion. So the first ground rules say, respect the ongoing conversation and keep your lines open. Respect what we discuss and make sure say you line always the audio so that we be able to post the talk. Then number two say, we expect high participation, especially from the girls on the line. We expect the girl when they would be active or participate, and wanna feel like home. No need to shy. Keep out your own say so the program will go on well. So I will cross on back to Auntie Moya to for the other rules there.
Okay, we also encourage everybody for be involved and just be attentive during the conversation, and try for make sure say distraction and all day now we background them just so the conversation go flow. And like how my sister Josephine say, important for make sure say we have fun, we connect. This not really time for let all man just hear from waiting girl picking and really think about waiting they go on. So even the girl picking away come una welcome, the boy picking away come una welcome. Some of we auntie them, we big sister them back where they are, and we brother them back where they are una welcome. And we want to make sure say this is an environment where all man contributes, una experiences them, and because we believe say all man where they are una one for they are. Una one for there because this is something we're important to una, and we as GESL na something that we really can want make sure say the happen is that we they get conversation and we focus on gal picking them, we gal focused and gal centered. Okay, so we begin with some questions them now, since we don't introduce all of we panelists. we they begin with the questions them. The way the questions and the work is, we they ask the questions them, and the panelists them will answer. And each question round, we they go through and then just they share their thoughts. Okay. So Josephine, go ahead.
Okay, so I think so. It starts with the first question we will discuss today. We first start, I just want to say, you're not like home, but we all are like sisters and brothers. You can also man and they among. So the first question we are sent out to the participant is, what are girls going through right now during the COVID-19 period? What think God can go through right now during this time of Corona? We'll get now the country. What think God can go through right now during the COVID-19 period?
I don't know if somebody wants to start. Maybe Jenna, you want to start, and we can just go that way. I would have to most likely call the panelists one by one. So Jenna Young, can you start, please?
Well, during this COVID-19 period, I got there to go through a lot of things. Like example, when they inside indoors no more. You didn't for the 3 days lockdown, we don't know about the security issues that they go through, like they go through then and gender-based violence. And even the way this, because of the school reopen it, and then our also they involve them into this street trading, that they involve them in a lot of things that they go through. Like right now, when they now host them. Then early marriage, teenage pregnancy, or because like an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So like when they now host them, they're gonna school. All of them think they come up. But who work for doing our host, so studies all not they like not they happen so no because you get work them for do.
Thank you. I think Princess Kiru, did you want to respond? I think you're on mute.
Okay. I want to see if no.
Okay, so while we wait for Princess, can we hear from Mabinti? Mabinti, to the question that Joseph asked.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now. Can you hear us?
Oh, okay. So during this COVID-19, the Pekin them look, they work too much now us. Like the household chores don't look boku because class is not there and then they go school. And the increase of sexual penetration they too high, the sexual penetration they on an increase because then Pekin them so they get molested by their own family members because then they not us. Because then they go school. The time where they spend at us too very much. Some they go market for go sell, where you lost your money, you come back now host and get for BT and all of that. So now this beginning they go through doing this COVID-19.
Thank you for sharing. Mabinsi Mambu from Educate, would you like to share? Mabinsi, can you hear us? You have to unmute, my dear. There you are.
Some of the things that girls are facing now is that when girls are not in school, some of them don't have the time to go over their work at home because of high burden of work. When they are at home, some of them are living with their aunties or some of their relatives, and they are facing hard works, and they won't have much time to read their books. And some of them are being sent out to go and sell as slaves. And some of them might be tempted to do bad things. When girls are not in school, they might want to do great things or know about other things. So they might be tempted to go and have early sex and be pregnant. So the coronavirus is greatly affecting girls through that way.
Thank you.
Okay. So we get any other participants for answer?
Anybody else want to add from anything that hasn't been shared? Jaria to Jane. Okay. So we're going to take a quick pause before we go to the next question. And we're going to take a quick poll. So the poll box will come up, they take a poll. The poll box will come up on the screen. Just select any of the options then will relate to you. So you go see the poll question then come up. Just select the one way relates to you. Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you all for answering. As you can see, we get a sense of the people that were they on right now. We see say Boku people them, you know, within kind of the younger ages are online. And it's a nice mix of, you know, intergenerational mix, it looks like. So that's wonderful. There's another poll question coming up, more so about gender.
Okay, I think
Okay. Okay, now we're doing one on, so you should see the poll questions coming up. Great. Wonderful. Okay, we'll do one last one now. We've seen kind of, we have a lot of representation from Freetown, some Nigeria is representing, and we also have some sisters from other parts of the country. Thank you. And for those who are raising your hands, just know that we will have a section where you can answer questions, and we will open up at the end. For the one that we raise my hand, just know say we go give the opportunity for me to ask questions towards the end. Okay. So the question they would ask for the next couple of for the next 15 to 20 minutes now directly for the panelists. The panelists that will mention earlier. Once we done, then we go turn them over to all the participants then. Okay. Thank you very much for your votes. I'm not sure if we got everybody, but thanks to those who were able to participate in the poll. Okay. Great. So we then move on to the next question. But before we move on, waiting Abuwan for just summarize based on waiting some of me sister them don't share is that one of the things that what they see is that girl picking them number one, waiting then they talk boys that girl picking them get for cool then they do whether or not host then they or whether they get for go sell. And this severely they impact them as it relates to then learning, just for stay focused, etc. The other thing will come up now this issue of gender-based violence and sexual gender-based violence at this time because God picking the bokuna us and we know say that then time they are then the rates of SGPV they increase even more because most of the time it happens with people that you know, people that you're familiar with. And so the home space should be a space that is safe, but during COVID-19 time can sometimes be a space that is not necessarily safe for girls. Now we then move on to the second question. The second question they ask, what intervention have you seen that has been going well? And what interventions have you seen that hasn't been going well? What would they ask now this question? So the panelists them is what una don't see where they work, where they go well during this COVID-19, and what una don't see where not they go well. Which program they wanna see where they go well for girls picking there and for people there? Which program they wanna see where not they go well? For this particular question, we want all the panelists them for answer. But I go begin with first the one then way not be answer the last round. So can we hear from Jaria Tusila from Girl Child Network, please? Jaria, if you can unmute the line and share. Is Jaria on? I see her screen is blank. Okay, in the meantime, as we wait for Jaria Jane McFoy from GESL, can you share? What do you think say they go well? What do you think say not they go well? Jane McFoy from GESL. Jane, please unmute. Go ahead, Jane. You want to hold your mic? Okay.
Yeah. Well, actually, according to what I've been seeing, I think what's going on well in the society now for girls is that they have been provided with the necessary things that are needed for them to stay safe during this period. Because according to my own perspective, I've been seeing people going around sharing things that are needed by girls, such as sanitary pads, sanitizers, soap, and other disinfectants for them to protect themselves. And also, what I've not been seeing now is that they have not been mentored properly or be given the inspiration for them to stay protected, especially what's going on now, the sexual assault and sexual violence against girls. I've not seen any intervention wherein they can help to punish the prosecutors or the perpetrators that have been involved in these acts.
Thank you for sharing, Jane. I think that's a very powerful perspective from what you're seeing in your community in Freetown. Are we able to get Jariatu on? Jariatu, are you on? Okay, not sure what's going on with Jariatu, but can we hear from Princess? Yes, go ahead, Princess Kiru from We Got Peking Foundation. Go ahead, you just have to unmute.
Okay, thank you, Moyato. Some of the things them will not work right now. Now the fact that the ministry don't say make them stop for self food for the examination classes. They want the way they go to school right now. They need to sell food because they want keep the social distance and sorry, and they no want make the pikin and cluster one side doing lunch for buy food, so they don't stop them not for sell food na school. So if you dey go school in the morning, you get for prepare food from your house or take your courier schedule, which it really not dey work right now because some parents not get that money for prepare food for them pikin them for go school, whereas some parents they not get money, some man not get time actually. Some people back na money not they not get. So them pikin them they suffer. Some man will go school now, the left way they left for go find food, he go get into trouble. You see. Then again, something where I see they work right now. Now the fact say one perpetrator where be rape a 9-year-old pikin, they don't sentence her to 15-year imprisonment, which is very, very good. At first, to not be the year that they happen, but recently it don't happen. So then one policy where they work because the government don't work on the sexual penetration law. Say anybody where rape, you therefore get a maximum imprisonment jail than they give you. Then the other thing where not they work again, when you go to those schools, you they find out say they not get face masks. Some school they not get buckets set for wasan. In as much as non-governmental organizations that they go around for donate things, them soap and hand washing buckets. But again, there are schools we not get. Because when school don't resume, so we as an organization, we don't go for go see few schools them around. And when we reach now the school, they find out say buckets not there, they not get face masks. So we thought and fit for make few of the face masks. I get a sample now so as well, where we go now at this school from Monday. This night, if you look at me, they see we got picking and foundation. We donate them to them picking and they because they not get them. Some way they use hijab now, hijab then they use for wrap now their nose. And 1,000, if only for no say 1,000, they're able for afford them. So people where they donate, and then they consider them one day where they na exam class, and then they go na their school and say, now communities more people they engage. And you find out say then school then they gal picking and they will really they suffer. Then again, the thing where actually know they work well, but it work, they know they work well. Now the mestra part where the first day they be being camp, that reason was sanitary part, say for give them picking and they. Some schools them now one then give, some not two. So they still say the picking they need more. Where some school they will not get at all. Inside Kenema, they talk for Musa Yade, inside Kenema town, there are schools we not get. There are schools where you go, if you ask them, they will say now one single part then give me. So these are things where they work, but they work well.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Princess, for sharing those perspectives from Kenema, in that there are things that are working well as far as some of the kind of community awareness raising, but there are still some challenges, challenges around resources as it relates to masks and protecting girls, particularly girls who are taking their exams at this time in Kenema, as well as sanitary pad distribution. There is a limitation around what girls are getting in some schools, if any. I believe Jariatu is on. So Jariatu, can you share with us from the McKinney side, from Girl Child Network, what's in they work, what you don't see they work, what you don't see when they work?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, I be getting a little internet problem actually. Well, we in Kenya, so we get some girls them actually where they use the marks them for going to school. Some not they use them at all. Past the regional school, they use the marks as fashion business. And actually the marks thing, it not they work at all na McKinney. McKinney, they don't want marks. They prefer they go na gardens, then public gardens as well, they work. People they gather. The only thing we me think say they work na market, we me they see say it they work. Yes, people they take the preventive measures, say they for wash their and always they wash their and them. They all the marks then are they and then prefer for all and they for put them at their neck them instead of them use them for waiting actually the marks then they for the people they make efforts for that day. And also the girls they make efforts for like studies. So you find out they get actually there's some of the people that get radios then are host there for listening to the radio programs, the educative programs there. but the pikin dem already dey do am. They want let them push them for do am. So now some of the things that are the way they happen in Makeni right now.
Thank you very much, Jariatu, for sharing. I think it sounds like there's similar challenges in Makeni as it relates to enforcing the wearing of masks. It seems like people are not wearing masks, and that presents a bit of a health hazard, especially as the COVID is still spreading. You also talk about the fact that the radio programs are running, but the kind of motivation for girls to be able to plug into the radio programs seems to be a challenge. That may also relate to some of the issues that were raised earlier around housework, as well as some of the girls having to go and sell by some of your other sisters. Maybe we can hear from Mabinti from Educate. Waiting they walk, waiting not they walk right now, Mabinti.
Well, for the things that are working well now is that the government is providing remote learning for everybody in the country. So through that, everybody can gain education at least. Another thing that is working on well is that some of us are going to the radio station to talk to girls for them to stay safe during this corona outbreak, for them to prevent themselves from early sex and teenage pregnancy. And also we've been talking to them for them to take the preventive measures, for them to stay safe during the corona outbreak. But some of the things that are not working well is that some parents are not really advising their girl child. Some of them are leaving them like that to do whatever they feel like doing. They are not really giving them the care they need. Another thing that is not working well is that here some of the people are not taking the preventive measures. But if you go to some communities, you will see there the Veronica bucket and sanitizer, but they are not really using them. And some of them are not using their face mask as well. And they've been in crowded places like the markets. If you go to the market, you will see people there, plenty people, but they are not with the face mask. So those are things that are working well and the things that are not working well.
Thank you, Mabinti. I think it's important that Mabinti from Educate in Port Harcourt raises the remote learning programs that the Ministry of Education has been airing for students to stay engaged during this time. She believes that that is something that is working well. And the area, again, of just preventive measures is quite lacking as far as, citizens doing what they're supposed to do to remain safe. Thank you for sharing. Maybe we can hear from Jenna Young representing Bo. And then after Jenna, maybe Jane, you can jump in and add anything else that you'd like to add. Waiting they walk, waiting or they walk.
Well, actually, for this lockdown period, yeah, we like now time we also now time we for girls the way we try for know self, try for rebuild self. Because like this time now, make us like a healing process also for we all. Because like for we organization when our GESL, girls empowerment, we they get with she program. We like sometimes they just idle. We they like try for make be creative, try for keep bottom for yourself. So like this lockdown time at time we will try for know the body, try for like study research, try for know things that we like, then try for like create stuff then way like we able help women mentally for stay stable. So like now a rebuilding or a process for we, a rebranding process also back for we. Then some of the things about we know they work well are like these law like work for use face masks, wash hands, it's something that we know they part of the people then culture now, because like they get this slogan where they say, "You what they ask me for now? It's the way it's that food that they expect." So like then the people that they ignore the thing that say the thing say like COVID-19 real and we for try for like wash we hands, try for go through the necessary precautions for be safe and prevent yourself from the virus. So now they some of them in a way like my being talk and the princess say when people don't really actually go through this thing they are with well, but the people they are tell me for go through for prevent yourself from getting corona. And also even with the young people then back, then like actually then they stigmatize other people then back with the like if you become a victim of something like that, you get a stigma there around say, hey, corona patients. So like actually the government for like try for, it's not only about saying these are the signs of corona, these are the symptoms of corona, but also for sending a message say this not this thing there. Corona we person done well, they get them again and they transfer. So like now some of the things that they way like they work well. The government for try like for arrange that and say, may they send another message say if somebody gets corona well, they transfer them against another person.
Thank you so much for sharing, Jen. I think one of the things that you highlight that I think is so important during this term, not just the well body of girl picking them and the opportunity for not only do your academics, but also some of the other activities you can be engaged in, which is why Jenny, who is part of our organization, mentioned the She Learning series and the importance of just rebuilding, taking the time to think about, okay, like what else do I want to do? What skills do I want to learn during this time as the time prevails? Thank you for sharing that. I think it's also very interesting that you raised the idea of stigma, now the community and how the government and the citizens them go able for tackle and they for say just because somebody know well, I mean say we need for stigmatize them or for push them away or cover the thing and then kind of thing and they back will help with the awareness of COVID-19. Jane McFoy from GESL Freetown, you go able to add anything else? Waiting they work, waiting or they work, waiting you think, so you don't see.
Well, I'll just say I just want to add that I think they should try to sensitize us more because there are some out there that still insist that they don't believe that corona is real or they don't think that it's existing in Sierra Leone. So I think they should try to sensitize them and give them more information about this virus.
Thank you. So Jane is making a comment around awareness. And I just wanted to just go back to Jenna's statement that in fact, if you contract COVID and you heal from COVID, you still do stand a chance at getting it again because we don't really know all of the details yet about COVID-19. That's I think one of the things that is making people very anxious. Yes, you can actually be well from it based on so many different factors. We know so many people have recovered from it, but it is quite a serious illness, as Jane is pointing out, and it's important for people to know that it actually exists in Sierra Leone and across the entire world. So we must take the necessary precautions. Thank you so much for some of what you all have shared. I think these are so important. Which one I don't share so important because I think say, a lot of times during this COVID, with the area, a lot of the big people then they talk about what they go on. We've heard a lot from the adults, but what's so important is what's in the girl, what's the young people them think about what they go on. So what they share actually so important. Some of it actually aligns with some of what people have been speaking about, but some of the things that are also coming up are quite new from your perspectives, especially when Princess is talking about the schools and when girls go to take examination and the preventative measures there, being able to pay attention to those areas, as well as just the hygiene support for girls during this time, the limitations around the resources of sanitary pads, the idea of just COVID education is still limiting. The stigmatization where they happen with this COVID is still an issue. The denial of the fact say COVID in our country is still an issue. These are some of the things that my sister then they bring up today. So Una, thank you so much. I hand them back over to Josephine to ask the next question. Josephine, you there?
Yeah, okay. So basically, if I go to the next question, I think saying a high time Sierra Leone for be responsible to the carefree business where they don't use for. And of course, to wait till Sister says, I think saying a very good start because the one that be perpetrators of rape face the law and a very good contribution with the all law make. So to the next question, when our questions, we say, what has been your own contribution? How have you responded to the 19 period to helping young girls? Describe one intervention you have come up with. And I go back. What did not be your contribution? What did not be your contribution during this COVID-19 and how you don't respond to the COVID-19 period for help you in the community, in the country or the society? And also describe for we one thing where you don't come up with during this COVID-19 period.
We want to hear it from all man for this particular question, from all the panelists. Sorry, let me make this distinction. We want to hear from all the panelists.
Yeah.
Thank you. Maybe we can start with Jane this time.
Well, during this period, since the opening of schools, I've been with my colleagues trying to tell them that Corona is real and sensitizing them about the necessary precautions to take. And I also joined hands with my dad, and we made some masks for my friends because they were complaining that the one that were supplied in school was not good enough. So they took that as an excuse not to put on the mask. So I joined down with my dad, and we tried to make something that is more comfortable for them, and gave it to them so that they'll be able to mask up and use it to prevent themselves.
Great. Thank you so much. That's quite powerful, I think, when we're talking about family intervention and what that looks like. The fact that you work with your father to come up with these masks. For some of your colleagues in school, we can see kind of school interventions happening with Jane McFoy, GESL in Freetown. Can we hear from Mabinti Mambu, Educate Botloko? What you don't they do specifically during this tenure during the COVID-19 period?
Well, thank you for that question. During the corona outbreak, I have been involving in the radio teaching program for across the country. But the radio teaching program is done by Educate. So we've been doing English language lessons, language arts for GSS, and even language arts for primary schools for them to be doing their schoolwork. And also I've been going out to radio station in partnership with our teachers at school to talk to girls about being safe during the coronavirus, and also for them to take their education serious, for them to avoid early sex and early pregnancy, as that will cause great damage to them in future.
Great. Thank you so much. Mabinti has been doing a lot of kind of awareness, educating around the COVID, particularly directed at girls. That's great work. We commend both of you for that. Jariat Susila, Girl Child Network Makini, tell us about something. What's you don't they do during this tenure? What's in our one thing? What you don't they do during this tenure?
Well, for me and Makeni Tongue, I not only just the work inside Makeni Tongue. For me, this COVID-19 start like we go within the villages around Makeni, because Makeni no to the only place so there. So like we go meet with the girls them around like Makot, Mabole, and other surrounding villages them. We go sensitize them, and some even provide marks them for them, because like how then they talk about not to everybody able gets marks. So we be the so marks then I will, because we get a center where we dey train picking them for do most of them half things them, then skill works, and so like we so send marks them where in we go give the picking and the marks them for let them marks up, and also we go to buckets them and sanitizers them for them, and also like they engage in something like in educating some girls where we they get at no more teach them new things them, make them follow the able like encourage them for the able listen to radio programs, and because the government they do a lot for them for the able like let the education and not go in vain. So we they do that, they do help for do that, and they all for let we just promote the girls and for let them go before, because this COVID-19 if we still see don't know more they watch nothing not go able good before, so now some of the things and then they where we did with me they do in the community.
That's very amazing, Jariatu from Girl Child Network. Thank you so much for sharing. It seems like, you know, when they do Boku community sensitization around the COVID, and also they give out things them na the community, and they encourage, specifically they encourage gal picking them for continue for land which we know say very important based on waiting be happened during the Ebola period. We know one for let, and then some of those things them repeat during the COVID period. Can we hear from, I believe, Jane McFoy, and then we can go to Jenny? Or did I already call Jane? Okay. Princess, please. There you are.
Okay, thank you. So we as an organization don't raise awareness on COVID-19 because salon generally people not believe say COVID-19 real. So we don't go to the marketplace where it can be overcrowded when a fishy markets like Kenema. We don't raise the awareness. We don't tell them say COVID-19 real. And for picking we not get native for can do na tongue making or come. Parents therefore left them picking in a house. Then we also don't provide food and non-food items to the blind school. We go there, we go sensitize them, we give them buckets for wash their hand. Then we also distribute face masks and sanitary pads to the quarantine homes then at Kenematong. Then we do follow up on the sexual penetration cases at the courts, because since the SP cases they on the increase, so we do follow up when the court sitting there, we go na courts before them we close the courts, and even when they don't open. So then right now we get one particular case, so we follow up. Then we give survival, how they call it? Survivor support. You know, it can be transport, they give them for kind of cut. Some people they shame, some are not get close for way, so they give them food, both food and not food items. They give them that support there. Or they do the follow-up call, they go na then villages and the surrounding villages within Kenema, we go there and then communities them talk to them. Like we engage Kombema the other day, we give them picking them because most of them picking them they use masks. The people and the big people are no more now the mama, papa, brother, sister, now they buy max 1,000 they can inside town. Whereas the picking themselves no they use them because the government we don't say make every single person in a salon use that max they from age 3 and above. So we be take up the responsibility for make face masks for both 5 to 10-year-old picking them and above for the parents them as well. We go to those communities, we give them marks then we give them the sanity pass them for the girl picking them, because girl picking them still in then quarantine homes them. A provision all day for that one day. The only thing where they give them are food for it. They know they give them pad, and then they give them marks, nothing. Then they make sure say when they come back now in community, or when the quarantine term don't lift, they don't left, you don't come back. We talk to people and say, not stigmatize them people, yeah. So when you don't get COVID-19, you know they get them for the second time. That's not the awareness who they preach within the township of Kenema. So then one day we don't come, you know, go look at that. I say, no, go now there also, as you go there, so you get and know. If them blanks can't get water to you, allow them to get water. If you blank give them food, continue to give them food. So those are some of the things that what we don't do as an organization.
Thank you for your contribution, Princess. I think it's very powerful. Some of what our panelists have shared so far, these are really community-specific, community-level, girl-led, girl organization-led intervention. So I just want to emphasize that, Princess, some very important things coming out of Kenema. You know, you talk about the fact, say, you know, mask them specifically for picking them. Masks for children are not something sometimes that are taken into account, as well as kind of this awareness against the stigmatization that happens with COVID-19. Thank you so much. I think we're going to take Jenna's contribution. Jenna, what you don't do specifically during this term, and then we will go to our final question. So Jenna, what you don't do specifically during this term?
But during this COVID-19 time, where like for the past 2 months where I've been able to, we be the try for like I get some of my colleagues and we peers them. We go around the community, we gonna like a small community. We talk to them about the COVID-19 with real measures. Then we use marks, then try to talk to them about the COVID-19 and how it affects people. Then, but then be responsive though. talk to them. Then at me your house now, we like in like a center where like they closer like for take transportation. We dey put a bucket there with soap for wash hands. So like that may be the help other people in back where they take transport and where they take bike for like wash their hands then and go beside them one go. Like several ways. So like that thing and I will be do with me peers and we try for talk to them because from your organization yourself we believe say we voice matters. So like trying for talk to people then trying for tell them the do's and things the way we know for do was important at that time.
Thank you very much. I see a lot of people are raising their hands. Don't worry, we are almost getting to that point in the program. Thank you, Jenna, for sharing the importance of, again, peer-to-peer education is what we're hearing a lot from some of the girls, that it's so important to educate, for girls to educate each other about what is happening with the COVID. Once again, we want to stress that, in fact, yes, you can recover from COVID-19, and you can certainly not be contagious, but you can certainly get it again. So we just want to correct that. We're going to kind of move to our final question to our panelists, and we'll ask specifically two of our panelists, Jane and Mabinti, to answer those questions. So maybe Josephine, you can take that final question away.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate all your comments and contribution to the following questions. Down to our last and final question for the panelists. What do you want to see for girls during the post-COVID-19? What do you want to see for girl picking during this COVID-19 period? What do you would like to see for girl picking during the COVID-19 period?
Okay, maybe we can hear from Mabinti and then Jane, since we haven't heard much from you.
Well, what I want to see for girls in the future is that I want to see girls standing upright for their rights. Well, some of the girls are quite shy for saying out their rights when they are being bullied by boys or men. So I want to see them standing out for their rights. Let them speak for their rights. And also, I want to see girls saying that they can do it in the future. In whatever situation, let them say that they can do it. Let them have it in mind that whatever thing they are facing, they will overcome it in future. So let them be strong. Let them be strong women. Let them see that themselves as equal to boys. I want to see girls having equal rights as boys, equal opportunities as boys as well. Thanks.
Thank you, Mabinti. That's very powerful, and from kind of the GESL standpoint, we echo those sentiments, and I'm sure all of our other partners do. Jane, can you take it away with your final response?
Well, I think girls should be recognized as important people equally to men in society, because up to now we still practice a traditional beliefs wherein they say we are supposed to be housewives and we are not capable of doing any changing the society. But I think if we are recognized and given the chance to prove ourselves and make a change in the society, we'll be able to top it all. And also I want to see people encouraging girls that they can do it and they can be better, they can do better things in the future, especially for those victims that are suffering from rape and other sexual harassment. I think the perpetrators should be punished in order to put a stop to all this that is happening in society now.
Thank you very much, Jane. And thanks to all of our panelists for these really powerful contributions. Una, thank you. Una don't do well. Una really, and I'm sure so many of the other young girls who are on the call today have seen and have been doing some really amazing things. So what we want for do now is we want for open them up. So we audience, what we ask for this this section is I ask two questions them. I will ask two questions and you can respond to one or the other. Okay, we are also asking that una keep una response them short. And when you they come on, introduce yourself, your organization, and which part of the world or which part of Sierra Leone are you calling in from? Okay, so if you can either raise your hand with the raise hand button. There's a way to raise your hand on the actual, you can do it on the, if you go to the chat box, you're able to see the raise hand button. If you get a contribution after I ask the question, I will call you name for may you contribute. The questions then where we get right now is, wetin una don't see where they work well, and which challenges them una they see now in a different community. Wetin una don't see where they go really well right now, specifically also in the community and for girl picking them with this COVID-19, and which challenges them una they see now in a community them. So now 2 questions, but please try to keep it very short. We're going to give people we're going to probably take about 3 to 4 comments, and we will then close for the question and answer. We may even do 5, but please keep them short. Okay, keep them short. If you go over kind of the minute mark, I will have to mute you. Okay, so first we're going to go with Kadiatu Koroma. If you can unmute your line and make your contribution, Kadiatu.
Hello, everyone. Well, some of the challenges that I'm seeing right now in my community is that people are not wearing their mask, and there is no Veronica bucket for washing hands. So I think that is one of the difficulties that I'm seeing in my community right now.
Thank you very much, Kadiatu. And what's your organization?
Girls Empowerment Center.
Okay, and you're calling from which community?
Aberdeen Road, Western area.
Thank you very much. Next, we have somebody from Educate. I'm going to ask you to unmute.
Unmute. Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm Abinci a concept from Educate Rural.
Speak loud.
Potloko. Well, my question is, I just want to know how we girls in the Northwest region we are going to be connected with this organization, because most at times when things are going on, they are not focusing mainly on this protectorate area. So I don't know how we can be working with you guys.
Okay, that's a very good question, Mabinti. Thank you for your contribution. The challenge of just, connecting with each other and the networks is something I think that is something we are quite aware of, and we're happy to explore what that looks like for sure. No immediate answer now, but just know that part of what we hope to do at the end of this is to be able to share the different organizations that participated today with email addresses and contact information. That way, you at Educate in Potloko will have a series of other organizations that you can reach out to. And of course, you know we are good friends as GESL and Educate, so we are always here as a support system, as I know you are. So thank you for that. And Kadiatu, thank you for your contributions around preventive measures. We also have Augustine A. Morsey. I'm going to unmute you.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I am Augustine Morsey, a beneficiary of Schooling for Life, Freetown, Sierra Leone.
Welcome, Augustine.
Talking of the challenges in my community that are affecting the people and girls, to be specific, I have this question to ask because it is obvious the health people are asking people to put on the face mask in public places, and also whenever they are in a conversation. That in doing that, I think for the communication to be well understood, I think some of these people are honoring the face mask principle, but disallowing that of the social distancing, in the sense, if you want to talk and that next person to understand you well, he or she has to come very closer because of the face mask. So in doing that, one rule is being observed while the other is being partially observed, in the sense that the physical contact is very close. So if you are to advise as an organization helping to sensitize people about COVID-19, what would be the advice that you will give?
Thank you. We'll make sure that we turn that over to our panelists so that they can contribute to that question. So what advice will panelists give as far as more sensitization and ensuring that the right resources are available for people to remain safe? So we will turn that question over. Let's hear from the rest of the contributions, and we'll make sure. We have somebody, your name is not written on your phone, so I'm going to call you Techno Spark 5. Techno Spark 5, you have your hand up. Please unmute and make your contribution and introduce yourself, please.
Hello. Hello?
Hello. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, this is Ibrahim from McKinney. I work for One Girl. Are you getting me?
Yes.
No. I work for One Girl, Sierra Leone. My operation area is Tonkolili, Malanchwan to be specific. I want to say, sorry I came late due to the unrest in McKinney. Seriously, there's a riot. So I came late in the program, but it's very interesting that you people are still pushing the issue of young girls in Sierra Leone. You have done so well as an organization. The moment I saw the link. Currently, we have seen a lot of effort in ensuring that our girls are safe, especially with organizations like you, with also the organization I'm working for, One Girl. Things that have been going well is, yes, we've seen the willingness of young girls ready to go to school again when school reopened. We've seen a lot of them going to school back, especially those that have to take the examination. They are going for classes. We've seen them every day. But the challenge is that of how can we protect them? Yeah, the protection side of it. They're ready. How can we protect them from the school authorities and that of authorities around the areas and their community also? Because for us in the rural areas, we're facing a lot of challenges with them girls. They have to walk some miles, 2 to 3 miles to access education. So these are all the challenges girls in the district are still having. They walk a distance to access education. So in the ET, nobody knows what will happen to them. So I want to say thank you again for this effort. We are all part of it. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much for those contributions. Truly appreciate your contribution and the work that you are doing with One Girl. We have 2 more hands up, and then we'll have some people respond. Maybe Josephine can respond to some of this as well. Alpha Habib Bangura, if you want to share your thoughts briefly.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alpha Bangura. I am calling from Rwanda. I am a GESL alumni as a volunteer, not a female participant. I want to respond to Moyatu's question about what have you seen work best. So I can say for first-hand experience from what is happening in Sierra Leone, but I can say from what I'm seeing going on in Rwanda. So taking back to some of the things that they put in place that is paying off now, I realized during this COVID period that there's a structure in place here in Rwanda called the Kigali Parent School. So this is a system wherein like the Kigali municipality engages with parents of students, children, young girls and boys to kind of communicate to them on how they can work with the government to ensure that the children are kept safe. So from all the conversations I've listened to, I've heard a lot about the challenges that young girls are going through in the homes, but some of these, though, some of them revolve around like the basic commonalities in Sierra Leone, but nobody has really touched on what parents are doing to address these challenges and what they have seen that the government or leaders are doing best to engage parents to address these challenges. So I think one thing we would need to work on is to see how best we could reach out to parents as part of the sensitization, directly parent as well as teachers, because if we keep on focusing on just the girls empowerment, we would get to a point wherein after empowering them, they go back to their houses. The people who are supposed to enforce that empowerment make sure that what they have learned is reiterated, like they will not be there. And when they go to the schools, if the teachers are not trained how to manage social-emotional learning, how to respect and protect the dignity of the girl child, their feelings, their metacognition, we will still keep on having these problems. So Moyetu and co, please, after this meeting, let's start thinking about how we can engage the parent and teachers in a strategic way that 5 years, 10 years from now, we would be able to speak to the people behind the girls that we are empowering. That's my contribution. Thank you for this amazing work. God bless you. God bless all the participants there, and stay safe, keep sanitizing.
Thank you very much for your contributions, Alpha, and for sharing some of the lessons in Kigali as well. I think that's really helpful. We have one more person who wants to speak, Samuel Sunday Koroma.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. So my contribution towards this meeting is that first I want to say I'm really happy. I'm a student from Schooling for Life, and I'm happy to be part of this gathering today. And I'm part of Freetown, Sierra Leone. So in addition to what I've heard from all the speakers today is that the girl child activity should be more enforced, just like what my colleague have just said. And I think we need to talk to our parents, because as a young man like me, I have a great interest in girl education, to be specific, to see that our sisters have been educated and given all the opportunities that is necessary for them to upkeep themselves and be a virtuous women in the communities. And also we have seen a lot of issues being raised around Freetown, to be specific, Sierra Leone, wherein we seen people raped, young children who we don't even know what will be their futures tomorrow. And I think these are things that we need to condemn, and we need to work very hard to see that these things are stopped, because we are seeing a lot of our parents, especially the women, are suffering to raise income, to see that their children are being educated and being, in the position where they can support their families in one way or the other. But we are seeing that people, are using their own interests to destroy them. So I'm really happy for this platform that you guys are bringing up, you guys are working on, to see that you develop our younger girls, our sisters, to see that they know that education is one of the key to every success in life, and that they should be always careful in doing everything that they are doing. And also they should not be, giving out themselves to men, either for money or for any matter.
Okay, it looked like we lost Samuel. But Samuel, definitely some really good contributions. Thank you so much. We truly appreciate it. And everyone else, I'd like to kind of defer to Josephine to share some of your thoughts on what
I think we need to continue to encourage themselves, and also to develop our young girls, mentor them, giving them.
Thank you. Samuel, we're going to have to move on just for the sake of time. But thank you. Those were some really good contributions. Perhaps you can type the rest in the chat box, just so we make sure that we get them. Josephine, would you like to respond to something?
Okay, yes, that's a very brilliant contribution to all those that have participated in this conversation. So I want to respond to the challenges on how to connect girls. So basically, as I first came, I said GESL is an organization that has been working with young girls and make sure they provide for what they need and that will push them forward. So as girls empowerment, as a beneficiary for GESL, I think one of the ideas we're going to put up to make sure girls connect is that we're going to set up a school club that will help those girls to speak up, to be empowered, to be bold, and of course to be problem solvers in their communities.
Thank you, Josephine, for that. We had a participant who was on here who we wanted to share some contributions, but I don't know if her audio is okay. Khadija, are you on? Khadija from GESL, are you on? Can you hear us? Okay. One of the things that I think somebody asked the question around how we can be sensitizing more on COVID. I think some of the panelists brought up some really good interventions and that they've been working on. But I'd like to ask you all, panelists, what do you think the community can do more to sensitize on COVID? Thanks to everybody who has been contributing in the chat box. I know my colleague Miriam has been supporting in that discussion. Thank you so much, Miriam. Yeah, we'd love to hear from the panelists. What do you think? What do you think as far as sensitization more on COVID? What thing we can do for me we sensitize more on the COVID? Anybody can unmute. Mabinti, Jane, Jenem. But to be able to do more. Jane, do you want to take a shot? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, awareness raising.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I think the house-to-house sensitization will be more appropriate since it's more direct and you don't have to ask more questions from other people since you can have all the information you want from the people directly.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else would like to share any of the panel?
Yes, so we need for acceptance first, say the thing the COVID-19 as real. The community need for acceptance, and we also need for stop for going at the public places, the crowded areas. Like for the markets, them picking away they say them plastic then at home. If we don't engage the parents and our host, we tell them say them picking away go sell plastic. Where sometimes all the markets where they sell are like 5,000, make it all go na tongue again left and us. To be able for curtail the spread of the virus. The door-to-door engagement, we go now, they host them, we tell them, because we already don't they do them, but we need for do more. There are still people who don't know it. Some people still will not accept the fact that COVID-19 they were here. So we need for go to the extreme villages for spread the news. And let we all take them as a responsibility. No one else don't wait say that NGO they can't talk to. We let we all take them as a responsibility. Say anybody we don't know if you tell them we person sick no near them. We want sneeze say no sneeze near me. Use your face masks and all. Now we continue for wash we hand and also pass you the come out. Stop for play with your nose, we eye and we mouth them. Now we use them as an habit. Now we get them inside. We say okay, this now we for do like every day.
Thank you very much, Princess. Mabinti from Educate.
Well, I think we can make posters showing all the preventive measures so that people can really see it. And also, let us continue going to radio station or anywhere you think you can pass on information for us to be sharing the messages, the preventive measures, because some people don't really know the preventive measures. Some of them know them, but they don't believe in them. So I think if we keep on telling them, they may consider them as better things to do.
Thank you very much. We have Khadija Tuti Mansare from GESL. Khadijatu has been doing some interesting community awareness raising. She shared with us a few days ago. And we wanted to just hear from you, Khadijatu, to share that as an example of how to raise awareness during the COVID period. Go ahead, Khadijatu.
Hi. Yes. Hi to everyone. As for my own ideas, why, first of all, when COVID-19 entered in our country, so later when the schools are closed, so for me to help people of sensitizing them, so we need to walk to their house because some of them don't have the time to follow, sensitize them. Like, can you get me? Like, walking to them, walk to the community, tell them what they can do, like washing their hands, wearing their face masks, because in our community, not everybody can do that. Even when they say that it's gonna be compulsory for wearing face masks, some of them will not wear them until they see what
Okay, we seem to be having some
the officers can do. Let me go ahead.
Yes, keep going. We wanted to hear about what you recently did, Khadijatu, what you shared with your
Okay, what I share with my colleagues in the community. Okay. What I share in my community to the young girls, one day I just sat and think and said, because there are too many girls in my community, beautiful girls in my community. So when schools were closed, so I said, okay,
she have an internet issue.
This opportunity for me to start to do something. So one day I started it where we fetch water. So I started to talk to them, like you said, where we sit as sister circles. Everybody can talk whatsoever on her mind. So I started talking to them and said, I have a good idea. I want you guys to help me doing this one. So they started to ask me. Then I explained to them. First of all, I explained to them about GESL, the organization. Then they asked me what GESL means to me and what is the meaning of that. Then I explained to them. Then I started to advise some of them. And some of them were on that way of, So at that time, at the first moment, the others accept and the others did not. They started taking as a joke. So I started continuing 1 day, 2 days, 3 days at the same place. So they said that you always talk to us a lot. So what is going on now? I said, okay, I have nothing to do. So let us arrange it. So those that understand, some of them started to understand. And they said, what we can do, let us call as a meeting because they like those clubs. And I said, okay, it's going to be like a club. So every Sunday, I told them first, I said, let us go house to house to sensitize some girls. And some of them started to take an excuse that they will be going to sell to the markets. And some of them started to give another excuse that they have a lot to do. So we sit down and schedule the time, and we said that every Sunday we are gonna sit and talk much about ourselves. They said okay. So, but at the first Sunday,
I didn't have many girls. So, but I appreciate those that came. So I started talking to them and we discussed a lot. So because those that are interested and they started to have some ideas on what I'm saying. So the next meeting that we had, the numbers of girls increased. So I told them whosoever has her friend, let her bring her with her the next time. So they said okay.
Thank you very much,
They
Kadijatu, for sharing. I'm going to jump in now just for the sake of time and summarize a little bit of what my sister Kadijatu is sharing. So basically, Kadijatu brought her community of girls together, and she was quite persistent when she shared the story with her sisters in GESL. And finally, the girls started to come out, and she started to do various activities that we share with them through our She Learning series with the girls. One of these activities is called the Confidence Chain, which is an activity to enable girls to build more confidence and positivity within themselves. And so the girls all built these confidence chains, and Kadijatu led that effort. So we just want to really champion that. And I want to go back to what Sister Josephine raised about the importance of what we call sister circles. These are our version of girl clubs. And so to our sisters at Educate, you can directly reach out to GESL and we can help you set up sister circles. So basically what Khadijat is doing in her community is a form of a sister circle that we do as GESL. And we encourage anybody within their communities that works with girls who is interested in setting up this model to reach out to GESL, and we are happy to tell you and share information with you to make things easy for you on how to bring girls together, because that is an area that I believe we've gotten some legway on. Thanks to everybody for your participation. I believe we have a poll, a final poll. Am I correct, Steph? Yes, so we have a final poll that we're going to put out for people to vote. Thank you to all the participants who have shared. You shared some really, really intriguing things, as well as some challenges. We know say the challenges then boku na we community, but we also know say at the end of the day, now the community get the solutions for what's they go on in COVID. And for me, what's I'm glad for you today are some of the things that we una self they do now in our community, but make sure say this COVID really go decrease in our community. We get some intervention that we put up inside the poll. These are interventions from the questions that we sent to everybody during the discussion. That we asked about GAL specific interventions that are happening that you think are effective. So what you want for Mona do right now for vote on those specific interventions. So please take some time and do that voting. Thank you very much. Okay, so take a moment to vote. Okay. Okay, thank you all. I think we have all our votes. Yeah, maybe we can show the survey. Okay, so we probably have a higher for GESL, probably because we have a large participation, but we also see that some of our friends, Purposeful, the Kura Kura radio drama is an intervention that people find really helpful as well. COVID-19 Girl Scout program, Girl Child Networks, community mentoring programs, Girl Talk social mobilization team, and GESL She Learning Series. So these are all programs that everyone within this network probably has access to. So what we will also most likely do in some form of a follow-up is to share some of these links so that folks are aware of these girl-specific programs. I just want to address one of the questions that came up from Kadiatsu D. Kagbo. Thank you to everybody for voting. She says, our country is not safe with regards to sexual violence. Girls are violated on a daily basis, which has left me in complete fear as I may not be a victim of such. Thank you for those very important statement, Kadiatsu. Yes, this is truly a grave issue in Sierra Leone. And we know that there are several kind of interventions that are being put in place at the moment and for some time by various activists, etc. And we just want to assure you that if at any point in time you feel at risk, please go forward to any trusted adult or any trusted organization that you're already linked to share those fears or concerns that you may have. We want to answer, so your question actually goes in tandem with one of our She virtual series interventions, which is called MESEF Get a Say. Again, the She virtual learning series is a joint partnership that Girls Empowerment Sierra Leone has with A Girl at a Time to really ensure that girls are safe, healthy, and empowered, not only during the COVID period, but also after. So we're going to play this final video before we close. We know we're completely over time. The video is only 2 minutes, and then we will just do quick closing remarks, and we will be set to go. Thank you, Steph.
She. She. Staying safe, healthy and empowered. Myself Get Safe Part 1. A focus on girls' rights.
Kadiatu, you don't hear anything happen to Fudia?
No, I don't hear you. What's happened?
Fudia was married to 140-year-old man. He not go school safe after the COVID-19 lockdown.
In no say we get law where they protect we girl picking them under the Sexual Offences Act. It wrong for let older person charge small girl picking.
Yes, it wrong, but Fudia safe, their rights over in body. If I feel safe as small picking, we girl picking we matter our community.
Rape, it wrong. The government self say it wrong. Now that's make the government get family support units them, whether in then and the police station them. And for help we girl picking them, for they can call them on 116. We also get organization them like Girls Empowerment, A Girl at a Time, Rainbow Center, Rape Center, and the Human Rights Commission, where self day for help girl picking them.
And back, if you na girl picking, where they worry about this COVID-19, If I talk to somebody like your mama or your papa or other person wey you feel say go help you.
This message comes from Girls Empowerment Salon, a girl at a time, sponsored by
Five Foundation.
Thank you very much. And that is our video that specifically targets all forms of violation of rights against girls, particularly as it relates to body autonomy and sexual violence, etc. So that video actually shares some of the other resources that are available to us in our communities. Thank you very much for airing that. We're just going to close. I'll hand it over to Josephine to give her quick closing remarks, particularly to her sister panelists who joined today and all of the amazing guests, and then I will take over from Josephine. Josephine, are you there?
Okay, I would love to say a very big thank you to all our panelists and those of course that participated. Thank you for your text messages. Thank you for your contribution towards our discussion today. And to my brother that raised a very important point, Alpha Bambara says we need to work with teachers, we need to work with parents. We're going to assure you that we're going to work with teachers, the parents, to make sure that still will be a safer place for our girls, for women, of course, also the boys. So I want to say thank you to all those that participated. And we're going to see more things coming from you, the young panelists, for your communities, for the society, and of course, for Sierra Leone as a whole. Thank you very much for your time. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Josephine. I want to just echo that by saying thank you to all of our amazing partners who brought some of your girl champion ambassadors to the discussion today. Again, Mabinti Mambu from Educate Putloko, thank you so much, Educate, for your support. Princess Keru from Wigial Pikin Foundation from Kenema, thank you so much. Jane McFoy from GESL Freetown, Jenna Young from GESL Bo, and Jaria Tusila from Girl Child Network McKinney. Thank you to all of our amazing partners, allies who joined us in this discussion today. For we not to the end, we definitely, like we say, will definitely be reaching out to all of you in different ways to ensure that this conversation they continue. If you now want access to any of the things that we don't share today from GESL, we have a website, www.girlsempowermentsummitSL.org. We also get a YouTube channel. We there on Facebook, we there on Instagram, we there on Twitter. And I can follow we at GES Sierra Leone, at GES Sierra Leone. And you can find any of them video there. If you want to show them to the girl picking in our community there for talk about different things or anything where you need concerning the sister circles, specifically our colleagues, our sisters in Educate, please do reach out. We will be happy to help you to set those up as well. And we will definitely find a way to share the list of various organizations who participated today to ensure that we build a stronger ecosystem to supporting girls and girl-driven programming in Sierra Leone, particularly during this COVID-19 time. Thank you to my amazing team. We are because you are. So thank you to my colleague, Mariam Darwich, in-country coordinator. We thank you to Lindsay for your support. Thank you to Stephanie for your support, to Adama, to Hannah, to Gina, to Ibrahim, to Josephine, to Cheryl, everybody who contributed to making this day a success. Thank you. Thank you to all of our partners who helped us to get data to the girls who were able to join, just even loading up the data that we provided. We appreciated all of these logistics. This is our very first time coming live on Zoom, and we'd like to say it was a success because of all of you. So una thank you. Thank you, thank you. Let us continue to do the work. Let us not relent, and let's just continue to do what we need to do for girls in Sierra Leone. Thanks so much.